Tonight on CTV News at 6. Demonstrating in Sudbury.
We are collectively saying to Doug Ford and the Minister of Education, fund our schools, fund our communities, not policing in schools.
Groups protest major reforms to school boards. They are returning to the bargaining table.
And we're hoping to settle it then, vote Saturday, and back to work on Sunday.
A glimmer of hope in the Timmins transit strike. And the kitchen is buzzing.
I'm chopping and peeling potatoes. It's going great so far.
In North Bay, the gathering place is preparing for its Thanksgiving lunch.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for being with us on this Wednesday. Provincial Police and the Anishinaabe Police Service issued a shelter-in-place order for the Ganoogaming First Nation early this morning, and it remains in effect. Police are searching for 2 armed suspects in the First Nation located between Geraldton and Hearst. They are described as 2 black males. The taller of the 2 men is wearing a gray jogging suit and has braided hair. The shorter man is said to be wearing black pants and black shoes. Drivers on Highway 11 in the Long Lac and Ganoogaming First Nation area should not pick up hitchhikers and avoid making unnecessary stops in the area. Several schools were closed today as a precaution. North Bay police have arrested a 55-year-old woman in connection with a stabbing last Saturday. Around 2 in the afternoon, the victim and the accused were having an argument when the accused allegedly pulled a knife and stabbed the victim in the arm multiple times. The woman has since been charged with assault with a weapon and other weapons-related offenses. A North Bay man is facing multiple charges following a human trafficking investigation that began in Barrie last November. This is 33-year-old Marquis Clark, who was taken into custody yesterday. Firearms, drugs, and money were seized during the arrest. He's charged with human trafficking, assault with a weapon, uttering threats, and several drug and weapons offenses. Police believe there may be more victims and are urging them to come forward. A 16-year-old has been charged with assault after an altercation at a Sault Ste. Marie high school. Police say the accused punched another youth multiple times. The victim was taken to hospital with serious physical injuries. The altercation took place just 2 weeks into the school year on September 12th. Police laid the charges yesterday. You can read this and a lot more stories on our website, CTVNewsNorthernOntario.ca. A scary incident took place this morning in Sault Ste. Marie, where for several hours a young student was reported missing from their school. It happened at Holy Cross Elementary School in the city's East End. A 12-year-old student had been reported missing and was last seen at 9 a.m. Texas Avenue and area saw a heavy police presence as officers with patrol services as well as the emergency services unit combed the area looking for the child. At the time, police had requested the public avoid the area while the search took place near the school grounds. Just after 1 p.m., officials with the Sioux Police Service confirmed the young person had been safely located. A rally was held outside the Rainbow District School Board office in Sudbury today, asking the province to say no to Bill 33 and policing in schools. That story from CTV's Lindsay Alick.
Policing has harmful impacts on students.
Policing Free Schools, in partnership with Black Lives Matter Sudbury, held a campaign tour stop outside the Rainbow District School Board office. More than 30 people attended to send a clear message to the provincial government.
We are collectively saying to Doug Ford and the Minister of Education, fund our schools, fund our communities, not policing in schools.
Also in attendance was Nickel Belt MPP France Gillena, who shared her concerns about a controversial bill.
Bill 33 means that they wouldn't be school boards anymore. It would be the government would pick somebody in Toronto in charge of schools in Northern Ontario. That makes no sense. Bill 33 means that a police officer would be in every single one of our schools.
While officials at Rainbow District School Board would not comment on the rally itself, they did provide a statement about the successful partnership between the board and the Greater Sudbury Police Service. It reads in part, while there are different models across the province, locally, school resource officers play a positive and proactive role. they are not policing in our schools. They are building respectful relationships within the school community. They are a familiar face that students and staff go to for support, resources, and guidance. Early connection with young people benefits schools and the communities that they serve. A GSPS spokesperson says at the request of all 4 school boards locally, the service maintains a consistent presence in schools with 2 school resource officers and 2 community safety personnel serving 84 elementary and secondary schools in the area. Policing Free Schools will continue its provincial campaign in Simcoe County on Thursday and other stops next week, culminating in a province-wide rally at Queen's Park on October 20th, the first day the legislature returns. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
The leader of Ontario's New Democrats continued her stop in Sault Ste. Marie today, speaking with more unions, adding in a visit to a local social service organization. Marit Stiles got put to work at the Sault Ste. Marie Soup Kitchen earlier today. The visit comes as the NDP leader says she wanted to go places where she could talk to residents and hear from those who may be struggling. Stiles says people have told her that workplace health and safety are top of mind in the Soo, as are further supports for Algoma steel workers.
They've been very clear about when they need it in the community and at Algoma Steel, but across Sault Ste. Marie. And the government has not stepped up. We have made it very clear. They have made it very clear. The government is not listening to workers.
We need to get ahead of what's happening in Sault Ste. Marie. We know that we have layoffs coming at the steel plant, that Mike DePratt has been very open about those conversations. And we know what the impact of layoffs at the steel plant have on the community. We've been through this before. So why are we always behind the 8 ball?
Stiles adds her party is going to bring forward pro-worker legislation aimed at aligning government investment with jobs for Ontarians, in addition to increasing education and training. Let's shift our attention now to the weather. Slightly cooler temperatures, but I guess we can't complain about the sunshine. Here's CTV's Rick Wyman with more on the weather.
I guess the temperatures kind of coincided with the Jays cooling off last night in that game against the Yankees after leading 6-1, but that's another story for another day, Tony. We'll see what happens tonight. Systems map right now looking awfully good for tomorrow. Loads of sunshine. Then we have some precipitation moving in. We'll get to that and a lot more with the 7-day forecast, of course. Our current temperatures and also the reason why, we'll find out why there's been a sudden change in the coloring of leaves these days. They went from green to whatever color you've got in your yard rather quickly. That's all coming up next. Tony?
Thanks, Rick. Promising news out of Timmins still to come on CTV News at 6. Union officials with striking transit workers are heading back to the bargaining table Friday. But first, we're going to Parry Sound and Point Pleasant Marina. This is courtesy of Northern Creations. It's 13 degrees. We are back in a few minutes.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Time now for a look at the mayor's chair. Once a week, we check in with local mayors to see what's happening in their community and some of the situations they're facing. Joining us tonight in the mayor's chair is Mayor Beverly Nantel from Duberville. Mayor Nantel, welcome.
Well, thanks very much, Ian, for reaching out to me and taking this time.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. I want to start by getting your reaction to some of the most recent news facing the region, the idling of cap paper and Kapuskasing. I know there are likely several in your community that rely on forestry and natural resources. I mean, first we saw Espanola, now Kapuskasing. Are people in your area concerned, or are they more, is there a concern? Because I know gold is also big in Duberville as well.
Yes, absolutely. Forestry has always been our roots. You know, we've kind of shifted to minerals and gold, but forestry has always been our roots, and it's deeply, deeply concerning. And we've got residents here in Duberville that work at the sawmill in White River. Anything that happens that affects forestry affects the whole region.
We recently saw the boob bus take women for breast screening to Sault Ste. Marie, and I know this is a longer, complicated issue to explain, but it was to make up for the lack of town services Duberville once had, along with other areas like White River and other areas there. Are you hopeful, or are you still talking with Queen's Park? Any indication if you'll be able to get some of that more localized screening back?
Oh, we're still talking. Our ideal plan and goals would love to have the buses come back to our area. We lost them coming into each individual community a few years ago, and it just provided that service for people, the elderly, people who don't have vehicles or can rely on family members to bring them. We have to travel 3 hours from Duberville just to get to Sault Ste. Marie. The boob bus is a wonderful thing, but we still then have to travel to Wawa to get that. And our concerns as well, and we're working on it with the mayor's group, is the constant road closures and lack thereof maintenance, upgrades. So that is another layer of concern. We still have to be on the highways, which is still putting people at risk.
Speaking of highways and highway closures, recently over weather this past year, the Northeast Superior Mayor's Group called for a meeting with the Transportation Minister, demanding faster reopenings. Did that meeting ever happen? Because, I mean, we're heading into winter, and I imagine there's going to be a lot more closures up ahead.
Yes, it did. We managed to get a meeting very, very quickly back at the beginning of August, and got the key stakeholders together very quickly. And just last week we did have a meeting with the Minister of Transportation and their concerns, because when those roads are closed just in the Duberville area, our local gold mine, Alamos Gold, they're losing millions of dollars in production per day. Not alone with the impacts of Duberville. We rely on Wawa and Sault Ste. Marie for medical, doctors, hospitals. So it is greatly concerning. And this is ongoing discussions with the MTO. Duberville, for Highway 519, I would love to have a portable electronic signage that we can put up, or that it is there permanently, so that we're aware of the closures. Because with the cellular service is very limited in Duberville. Bell Mobility does not work, so anybody wanting to check their devices before they actually leave, they can't do that. So talks are still ongoing, and we're determined to push this forward.
Well, there's going to be a lot for us to watch moving forward, and we wish you well as you try and navigate those as well. Mayor Nantel, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for the invite, Ian, and anytime you're up our way, please stop in.
Absolutely. That's Mayor Beverly Nantel from Duberville.
Thanks for that, Ian. Timmins transit workers have been on strike for 2 weeks, and today CTV learned they'll resume negotiations with the city Friday. 39 members of Canadian Union of Public Employees Local 1544 are picketing in front of the Timmins Transit Station and City Hall. They say they're on strike in support of 3 service workers who help maintain the buses, terminal, and shelters.
We're actually going back to the table on Friday, and we're hoping to settle it then, vote Saturday, and back to work on Sunday is what we're hoping for. We are a strong union, and 3 people being left behind is really not fair. Every department within the city has a purpose, and our service people, without them, it would not run smoothly, transit.
CUPE officials say Timmins transit workers have been among the lowest paid in the province, and frustration has been building for years. Meanwhile, the strike has had an impact on those who rely on the service. The Timmins Chamber of Commerce says when workers can't get to work, businesses can't operate at full strength. Sudbury City Council has greenlit 3 plans as it looks to support its unsheltered homeless population ahead of winter. Council voted unanimously last night in favor of extending the hours at the Samaritan Centre, Energy Court, and the off-the-street emergency shelter, which is run by the Canadian Mental Health Association. It comes following a dramatic increase in the number of encampments throughout the city over the last 2 years. According to the city's figures, the shelter is often running at capacity.
We do have situations where individuals would leave sort of an hour in or 2 hours in for the evening. So they book a space, they show up, and then they do leave. In those instances, if anyone is waiting, we try to get that filled, but there are instances when that does occur.
And there will be no impact to the additional hours. City staff say it can be funded through the existing budget. Back now for a check on your current conditions. Once again, here's Rick.
Tony, nice night. A little cool compared to last night. Forecast radar, we've got some sunshine coming up for tomorrow. Then we've got the chance of precipitation, as you can see, by Friday. But first, these magical numbers at night. I love it. 6 in Mooseedee, cloud cover there. Cochrane, sun and cloud 6. Timmins, we've got sun and cloud at 6. And Kapuskasing, sun and cloud at 7. So cooler than last night. Chapleau at 5, Wawa sun and cloud at 10, Sault Ste. Marie at 11 with the sunshine. Down Highway 69, 13 in Parry Sound with the sunshine. Nice night there as well. North Bay 10 with the sun, Timiskaming Shores 9, sun and cloud. Mainly cloudy in Kirkland Lake at 7, so no outstanding temperatures here. Greater Sudbury 11, Espanola 11, Elliott Lake 11, and Gore Bay 11. Take a look at that. Right across the board, that Highway 17 corridor, all with 11-degree weather, all with sunshine. Ian Laidlaw is back once again from Ottawa. He's an arborist with the Davy Tree Expert Company, and I had the opportunity to ask Ian about the sudden change in colors for leaves. One day they're green, the next day, well, they're changing pretty quick. Here's what he had to say.
It's with the temperature change and the rains, actually, because in fall, we tend to get a lot more rain, which ends up resulting in the tree kind of knows it's fall. So this year with the drought stress, all the heat stress, the trees are acting a little bit oddly or differently than they have in the past, but it mainly comes down to the changing of temperature and the increased amount of rain.
So tomorrow night we'll talk about what you can do to prepare your trees for the winter, and of course what we can expect in terms of temperature and some of those harsh conditions that we experience in northeastern Ontario. Tony, back to you.
Thanks for that, Rick. Really appreciate it. He's back from his trip to Washington. Next on CTV News at 6. What did Prime Minister Carney achieve? Are we any closer to a trade deal? And why are striking Canada Post workers taking aim at Purolator? Prime Minister Mark Carney faced tough questions in the House of Commons from the opposition after returning to Ottawa today without tangible trade progress. CTV's Mike LeCouture reports.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is back in Ottawa without a deal on tariffs. However, CTV News can confirm the Keystone XL pipeline was part of yesterday's discussion at the White House.
Prime Minister, did you and Mr. Trump agree to revive the Keystone XL pipeline?
Very good discussions on a wide range of issues, and I look forward to talking to Parliament.
A source with knowledge of the discussions in the Oval Office yesterday confirms reviving the Keystone XL pipeline was raised between the two leaders. The extension would bring Alberta crude into the U.S. It was in the context of more energy cooperation between the two countries, but was also linked to relief on steel and aluminum tariffs.
Certainly, it could be another one of the levers that increases North American energy security, and so it certainly warrants exploring.
South Bow is now the proponent of the project, and while the Canadian company isn't privy to conversations between the governments, a spokesperson tells CTV News, quote, South Bow is supportive of efforts to find solutions that increase the transportation of Canadian crude oil. While a pipeline may be possible, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick is dismissing the prospect of an auto deal with Canada. Sources say at a Eurasia Group summit, Lutnick said the Americans could continue buying auto parts from Canada, but that's about it.
Auto pack's been around since the 1960s. You can't unscramble an egg, you have to make the omelet larger.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition. On Parliament Hill, Opposition Leader Pierre Poilievre called out the Prime Minister for not getting a deal in D.C. and promising more investment in the U.S.
The Prime Minister went pathetically to the White House to offer a $1 trillion gift, bowing before the President in weakness.
We have the best deal with the Americans, and the third thing that's true is we will get an even better deal because
A source with knowledge of the Oval Office discussion describes it as a very initial conversation. to see if President Trump would be interested in reviving the Keystone expansion. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
The union representing striking Canada Post employees says it will meet with the federal minister in charge of the Crown Corporation tonight. Postal workers began striking nearly 2 weeks ago after the federal government announced sweeping changes to Canada Post services. The changes, which the union opposes, would see an end to door-to-door delivery and the closure of some rural post offices. Canada Post tabled a new proposal last week, which introduced provisions related to expected job cuts. Canada's Minister of Jobs was asked today what might happen if workers don't accept this latest offer and if the government might intervene.
No, listen, these parties have to sort it out. They have to, first of all, realize that the responsibility is on the parties. There is a union and there is an employer and there is a process, and they all know the process. The process is that they negotiate till they get to a deal that everybody can live with. And so our expectation is if the union is not satisfied with that offer, they should table a counteroffer. That's how mediation works. That's how negotiations work. And the Federal Mediation Service is there to help them have those conversations.
The union is now taking aim at the courier company Purolator, which is 91% owned by Canada Post. It claims Canada Post has been pushing business to its subsidiary, which is still delivering parcels during the strike. Postal workers have been picketing Purolator locations and holding up delivery vehicles to draw attention to the issue. Canada Post lost $400 million in the second quarter this year. Tough talk this morning on Russian drone incursions. The head of the EU Commission saying Europe is facing hybrid warfare.
This is not random harassment. It is a coherent and escalating campaign to unsettle our citizens, test our resolve, divide our union, and weaken our support for Ukraine. And it is time to call it by its name. This is hybrid warfare, and we have to take it very serious.
In a speech to the European Parliament, Ursula von der Leyen did not say Russia was responsible for all the incidents, but said it was clear Russia's aim is to sow division in Europe. Among the incidents, 19 drones from Russia violated Poland's airspace last month. Well, it's another sure sign that much of the warm weather is now behind us. This was the scene on Paris Street in Sudbury yesterday. A police escort as the William Ramsay was pulled from the water and is now on its way to its winter home. This marked a big year for the iconic boat, which was able to return to the water after renovations to the Science North dock. And there's more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Rick.
Tony, you never said anything about the NHL tonight. Montreal, Toronto.
That's coming up
Habs.
later. That's later in the show.
Go Habs tonight. Hey, there's a lot of sports going on tonight. Let's check out our forecast radar right now. No noticeable precipitation for tomorrow. That's going to change kickstarting your weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll get to that momentarily. You can see that system moving in right behind me, and that will cover the northeast beginning on Friday, depending on where you live, with a varying degree of the chance of showers. Northeastern Ontario, Sudbury -2 tonight. Sault Ste. Marie 0, Timmins -5, Temiskaming Shores -4, and North Bay at -2. Kind of chilly tonight. Meanwhile, Moosonee -2, Caphurst -4, Wawa -2, Gorbet balmy 4, and Parry Sound 1 for tonight. It is getting cooler, but things will warm up, as you'll see. Sudbury Nickel Belt, here we go. Sunshine and 12 tomorrow. Chance of showers Friday and Saturday, 60 and 30%. Those are the odds right now. Sunday, sunshine and 19. Holiday Monday, sorry, we've got 17 and the chance of showers, at least according to Environment Canada. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, mainly sunny tomorrow, 16. Chance of showers on Friday and Saturday, 15 and 19 daytime highs. Sunday, beautiful day, 19 with the sun. Monday, here we go, some shower activity, 30 to 40% the odds. And again, your high of 16 degrees. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, sunshine tomorrow, 13. Chance of showers on Friday, not bad at 30%, so it might rain. 17 your high, 17 on Saturday, 19 on Sunday with the sunshine. Not a bad weekend. Monday, chance of showers, some sunny breaks, cloud, and the chance of showers again 30 to 40% with an expected high of around 19. So normally you should be sitting at around 10 for this time of the year, but you've got some warmer weather. 19 for a couple of days. Not a bad weekend at all. Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, sunshine and 13 tomorrow. Chance of showers on Friday at 60%, 30% on Saturday. Your temperatures 17, 18. Climbing up to 19 Sunday with the sunshine. Monday, here we go. Chance of showers, some sun, some cloud, and the possibility of some rain, 30 to 40% right now, with an expected high of 18, and that trend will continue into Tuesday. Now, North Bay, West Nipissing, sunshine and 12 tomorrow. Friday, we've got chance of showers at 60%, which is a very good likelihood. Saturday, only 30%, 19 again Sunday with the sunshine. Monday, here we go. Some sun, some cloud, chance of showers. Thanksgiving Monday, 17, well above normal for this time of the year. Ta-da! Time now for the pick of the day. What have we got going today? This is Rose Russo, a regular contributor. Tony knows Rose. This is the Harvest Supermoon. Strathclair Park in Sault Ste. Marie. Great shot there, Rose. I was reading about that the other day, and you have sent in by far the best pick of the Harvest Supermoon, and I appreciate that. Perhaps someone else's pick will be on tomorrow at the same time. Stick around. Tony has more news after the break.
If you're making a large purchase, buying a furnace, appliances, or even some furniture, you might be offered a deferred payment plan. They can allow you to pay 0% interest over the course of a loan, but if you don't pay it off by a certain date, you can be hit with major interest charges. CTV's Pat Foran has details.
Which was don't pay for 1 year, no interest. So I thought, great, got it.
Nina Stanchevsky of Bradford saw an advertisement for a water softener and decided to get one for her home. The purchase price was $6,500, and last August she agreed to a deferred 0% interest loan for 12 months.
In August, I had my last payment in my head due of $804.99, I believe, and I didn't get a statement.
Stanchevsky says she found out the final payment was due on August 15th, but she made the payment a week late on August 22nd. Because she missed the deadline, she was charged more than $3,000 in interest.
I didn't get the final statement, so I didn't know when it was due.
Stanchevsky took out the loan with Flexity, a company that offers financing and payment plans for many different stores and services. When she complained, she was offered a discount of $900, which she declined, claiming she wasn't properly notified of her final due date.
I would like just for it to be forgiven. I mean, there's got to be some kind of grace period. There's got to be something. I paid it on the 22nd.
CTV News reached out to Flexity but did not get a response. But on the company's website, it does say, with deferred plans, the balance must be paid in full before the end of the term to avoid accrued interest being charged to your account.
They can be effective if the consumer is disciplined and can actually pay them off on time.
Retail analyst Bruce Winder says anyone using deferred payment plans must keep track of them carefully and pay them off before their due date to avoid interest charges.
If you're going to enter one of these plans, make sure that you have a very disciplined process at home where you pay on time, because, you don't want to be looking at, 30% plus interest rate on anything.
Stanchevsky feels she shouldn't have to pay $3,000 in interest for being 1 week late.
I'm not paying this, so write it off now, write it off later. In the end, not paying it.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
A Northern Ontario family must rebuild yet again after another devastating fire, the second in as many years. We get the story from CTV's Angela Gemmell.
The windows were just about to get put up. They were finishing up the windows, finishing the siding.
This charred debris is all that's left of the Lacombe family home in Albin.
They were just about finished this house. It was almost done, and then the neighbors caught fire due to an electrical fire as well, and it spread across the yard, and they weren't home, and it burnt down this house right before it was finished.
Jake Lacombe and his family weren't living in the newly built home when it caught on fire on Monday. That's because they were still rebuilding after their first house was destroyed by another electrical fire 2 years ago. 2 fires in as many years.
It came onto our side and burnt the whole place down. So all the work that
Me and my wife had put in all of our money, all of our life savings, everything.
Lacombe says they had insurance on the original house, but couldn't afford the steep rate hike as they slowly rebuilt on the same site.
Right now, we're not sure what we can do. Because, you know what I mean, we don't have the money to rebuild it or anything, so we're just in shambles right now. We're not sure what's going to happen yet.
A GoFundMe page has since raised almost $10,000 to help the family get back on its feet.
With not having the insurance on top of that, any help helps them right now, so we wanted to try and we know the community likes to help.
Fire officials say the cause is still undetermined. The family plans to rebuild and says the support from the community has been welcomed. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Albin.
Thanksgiving is this weekend and many families are preparing big meals, but what about the less fortunate? Volunteers at the Soup Kitchen in North Bay are making sure they are not left out. They are getting ready for their annual Thanksgiving lunch. CTV's Eric Tashner has more.
The kitchen is buzzing. Volunteers are preparing meals for about 200 people.
I'm chopping and peeling potatoes. It's going great so far.
We've got some ham, mashed potatoes, some roasted veggies, I think some carrots and turnips. We're going to be doing some stuffing and gravy, so all the fixings, and some pumpkin pie and whipped cream for dessert.
The Gathering Place holds a Thanksgiving lunch every year to help those in need. But last year, the organization was the one to fall on hard times. In 2024, meals were reduced to just one a day, and several staff members were let go.
We're in a better position this year than we were last year because we've cut the expenses a lot. We've cut where we could and made changes where we had to, and we're satisfied with what we've done.
The board admitted a major misstep was not paying remittance to Revenue Canada. The money owed was related to payroll, meaning the organization was withholding income tax from employees, but not sending it to the government.
We still owe the CRA some money, and we're trying to pay it down as quick as we can. But it's been difficult because when you lack money coming in, it's hard to put the money out the door.
While the financial issues have made their work harder, the Gathering Place is still making sure Thanksgiving takes place.
20% of our people are from the street. The other 80%, they have a place to put their head at night.
Just kind of supporting, volunteering whenever we can. There wasn't really a catalyst. They've always done amazing work in our community.
Meals will be served Friday from 11:30 to 1:30 with takeout options available. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
For those living with Duchenne muscular dystrophy, it is a promising first. A medication specifically developed to deal with the condition is now available in this country. CTV's Pauline Chan has more.
6-year-old Oliver is an active boy, and his parents hope he'll stay that way for a long time.
Skiing, biking, fishing.
It's all thanks to a new drug, Agamree or vamorolone, just approved in Canada for boys with Duchenne muscular dystrophy.
The difficulty in Duchenne muscular dystrophy revolves around a protein called dystrophin, and that protein is either missing or not working well based on a problem in the gene.
The muscles break down and inflammation leads to the formation of scar tissue.
Vamorolone helps to reduce that muscle inflammation, thereby, kind of preventing some of the scar tissue formation and that ends up accompanying the muscle damage.
Dr. Craig Campbell says because this drug was specifically developed for Duchenne patients, it reduces the typical side effects associated with traditional steroid treatments, things like fragile bones, weight gain, and short stature.
He got on during the clinical trial, and he's doing so far really good. We see no side effects, and he's got good strength for now and good stamina.
There are drugs that are available for boys with Duchenne. They're available in the United States, the United Kingdom, the European Union, but they were not available in Canada.
John Davidson, who toured Canada in support of his son Jesse as he battled Duchenne muscular dystrophy, says Defeat Duchenne Canada played a key role in funding research on vamorolone. Jesse died in 2009 at the age of 29.
I think Jesse would probably smile and say, well, It's about time.
Vamorolone is only approved for patients up to a certain weight, but Oliver's family hopes by the time he reaches that, new medications will be available. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
The North Bay Humane Society has temporarily suspended its intake of stray dogs. This comes after the shelter's team returned from Thunder Bay with 20 puppies, some of which may have contracted canine parvovirus. The Humane Society is suspending intake as a precaution until further notice. Stray cats are still being accepted. Regreening Sudbury, still ahead on CTV News at 6. Look up, look way up. Mining company Valley has started its annual reseeding program. Mining giant Valley relaunched its annual aerial seeding program this week in the greater Sudbury community of Coniston. CTV's Madison Merrier has more.
This week, helicopters will be dropping seeds to regreen the area that was impacted by Coniston smelter emissions.
We understood that our operations in the mining industry has had an impact on the environment, and this is one of the ways that we've tried to correct that impact that we've had and to restore the land to the way it looked before the mining industry arrived in Sudbury.
The aerial seeding program was created by Valley in the early 90s in joint collaboration with the city of Greater Sudbury.
We actually worked hand in hand with the city of Greater Sudbury, and they undertake the second step, which is planting seedlings. So in year 1, we perform the aerial seeding program, and in year 2, they come in and plant seedlings, often grown here at our greenhouse facility in Coppercliff, out on those same areas.
One man, Mike Peters, has planted almost every seed in the greenhouse.
It's been a good year. We've grown approximately 200,000 seedlings. We donate half of those to the city for the regreening program, and then the other half Valley plants on their own property.
This year, Peters grew a variety of pine and spruce trees to create a diverse ecosystem, while planting trees that will thrive in the soil in winter conditions Sudbury has.
I think we're over 5 million that we've grown in this site, and the city, I think, has planted more different species also, ours included, up to over 11 million now. So it's made a big difference in the whole city of Sudbury.
This year, we're treating 100 hectares, and our records indicate that we've treated more than 4,400 hectares since the inception of the program.
The helicopters will be dropping a mixture of lime, grass seed, and fertilizer to prepare the lands for tree planting in the future. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
In sports, the Toronto Blue Jays will try again tonight to advance to the American League Championship Series. Last night, the Jays blew a 6-1 lead, falling to the New York Yankees 9-6.
And a swing and a high drive to deep left center. He's hit it out!
Toronto wasn't able to hold to that great start, but by the end of the third, the Yankees evened the score at 6 after a 3-run homer by Aaron Judge. That win means the Yankees are still alive again. All is not lost. Toronto won the first 2 games in the best of 5. The city of Greater Sudbury honored curling powerhouse Tracy Fleury yesterday.
I am truly honored to join you all in recognizing one of Greater Sudbury's finest athletes, Tracy Fleury.
Dozens turned out to the celebration where Mayor Paul Lefebvre presented Fleury with a commemorative plaque. The plaque recognizes her outstanding career, which has seen her achieve back-to-back national and world titles. She placed 3rd on the Rachel Homan team. Fleury is a graduate of Lockerbie Composite School and Laurentian University.
Raised in Sudbury, I love the city, so it's just like such an honor to be recognized by my city. Yeah, it's really special.
The fact that we can celebrate her and certainly give her our best support as she continues with her great career, right? The fact that we can gather with community and celebrate a world champion that is from our community, that lives in our community, I think it's a very special day that we need to take this opportunity to recognize together.
Lefebvre also proclaimed yesterday Tracy Fleury Day as part of the celebrations. Day 2 of the NOJHL Showcase was action-packed. The French River Rapids took a commanding lead in the first period, scoring 4 unanswered goals on the Iroquois Falls Storm. The Rapids pick up 2 points, winning that one. And the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners were facing off against the Espanola Paper Kings late this afternoon. It was a close match, but a penalty early in the third would give Espanola the advantage, and they would score. Paper Kings win 3-2. Sudbury Cubs just started their final tilt of the showcase against the Powassan Voodoos, and they are in the first period there. And looking to the National Hockey League, 4 Canadian teams make their debuts tonight on day 2 of the new season. Two classic all-Canadian rivalries will hit the ice as the Toronto Maple Leafs host the Montreal Canadiens and the Edmonton Oilers welcome the Calgary Flames. The Oilers finished as runner-up to Florida in the last 2 Stanley Cup finals and enter the season as a championship favorite. The iconic series that launched the career of Canadian actor Jason Priestley turns 35, and Swifties are spending big money on Taylor's new album. David Daniel has those stories in tonight's Hollywood Report.
Taylor Swift's The Life of a Showgirl has sold 3 million copies in just 2 days. Music sales tracker Luminate says that's already the second biggest sales week of the modern era, trailing only Adele's 25 a decade ago. Of course, Swift's latest blockbuster has 5 more days to set the record. The only concert feature ever filmed with IMAX cameras is returning to theaters. Rolling Stones at the Max, filmed during the band's 1990 Steel Wheels Urban Jungle Tour, has been digitally remastered with a brand new sound mix. Tickets go on sale October 23rd for a limited run in IMAX theaters worldwide beginning December 10th.
The houses are bigger, the weather is warmer, and tan lines are outstanding.
Beverly Hills 90210 is 35 years old. To celebrate, Paramount is releasing all 10 seasons remastered in 4K Ultra HD. The series bundle hits digital platforms October 20th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
A summit being held in Toronto may be helping to shed some light on what's to come with U.S.-Canada trade relations. The U.S. Commerce Secretary, speaking virtually to attendees, gave a clearer picture of what the U.S. is after. CTV's Siobhan Morris has the details.
A comprehensive, collaborative auto deal between Canada and the U.S. not in the cards, according to the U.S. Commerce Secretary. Howard Lutnick made the comments in a closed-door session of the 2025 U.S.-Canada Summit hosted by BMO and Eurasia Group. Sources in the room say Lutnick said Canada needs to come second to the U.S. on cars, that America could buy auto parts, but that's about it.
I would say it's a massive threat when you have the Secretary of Commerce coming out and saying that, and the President, you'd only say it if the President gave him the green light. So we have to be prepared.
Lutnick's words, a stronger version of what we heard from Donald Trump yesterday when the Prime Minister visited the Oval Office.
It's a tough situation because we want to make our cars here. At the same time, we want Canada to do well making cars. So we're working on formulas, and I think we'll get there.
Ontario's auto industry has been struggling under the weight of tariffs and the uncertainty they've injected into the market.
As I've always said, the auto pack's been around since the 1960s. You can't unscramble an egg, you have to make the omelet larger.
The head of the Auto Parts Manufacturers Association doesn't see that automakers with operations on both sides of the border can handle the White House's approach long term.
Are you ready to possibly face bankruptcy, at least on some of your brands, because the White House has an opinion on what types of jobs it wants to see? I don't think so.
In his virtual session, Lutnick also advocated breaking up CUSMA renegotiations, striking separate deals with Canada and Mexico.
They keep saying that they find Mexico easier to deal with, so I think they are probably going to do that. So I think the Canadian idea that we have to hug Mexico on all of these issues, we've got to revisit that.
Doug Ford has pushed for disentangling from Mexico off and on. Just a few weeks ago, Mark Carney brushed off the notion of Canada going at it alone.
CUSMA, USMCA, is strength together. It's strength of the three countries together.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
A major Canadian energy player is changing its offer to purchase a smaller player in the sector. BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez has more tonight.
Cenovus is raising its takeover offer of MEG Energy, even though the MEG board already approved its original offer. The new proposal values MEG at $8.6 billion, including debt, and that's $7 million more than the first offer. Cenovus says shareholders had requested changes. Strathcona Resources also has an offer on the table, but MEG's board has urged shareholders to reject it. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar barely moved. It ended the day at 71.65. West Texas Intermediate crude is up to 62.02. Western Canadian Select is up to $50.65. And the TSX gained 150 points today, ending the day at 30,501. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
And here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold is up $54.40, closing the day at $40.3894 US an ounce. Silver is up 92 cents. Copper moved forward 7 cents, and nickel slipped 3 cents, ending the day at $6.88 US a pound. And Rick is back now for one last look at your Thursday weather.
Well, a cool night, cool overnight, but heading into some sunshine for tomorrow, Tony. Let's take a look at some of the temperatures right now. Greater Sudbury at 12, Timmins 13, mainly sunny, and Sault Ste. Marie at 15. And right across the board, more sunshine to come. North Bay at 12, Parry Sound 12, and Temiskaming Shores 13. Chance of showers rolling into the weekend, of course, and right now Environment Canada calling for the chance of showers on Thanksgiving Monday. We'll keep a close eye on that. We'll have some details a little bit later on tonight at 11:30 with Ian Campbell. Tony?
Thanks so much for that, Rick. And folks, that's our show on this Wednesday, October 8th. I'm Tony Ryma. Thanks for watching. More news comes your way at 11:30. Good night.